Hey, it's Ben. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to take a stab at the incel problem.
I brought you all my dreams 'cause I love you.
So the word incel means involuntarily celibate. And that would be in contrast to somebody that's voluntarily celibate, somebody that's choosing not to be in a relationship or not to be married. An example of this could be someone that took a vow of celibacy or a priest, or someone that's just taking a break because of bad experiences that they've had in the past. But back to the idea of the incel. So stereotypically, an incel is somebody that is not good looking at all, obsessed with girls, and obsessed with video games, usually doesn't have a good career or a good promise for the future. Now, when said like that, you could see why someone would have a problem getting a girlfriend or being in a long-term relationship. But this is becoming a major problem in our society. There's so many young single guys that don't know how to interact with women, that can't find a way to have a relationship with a woman. And generally this leads to them isolating themselves, becoming more obsessed with women, and thus making the problem even worse. But I think this is a problem for our society as a whole. It's not like there's just some group of people that we can demonize or look down on or make fun of, and that not have implications for the culture as a whole. Men, especially young men, should be out pursuing their goals, pursuing their dreams, building things, working with their hands, accomplishing things, pursuing greatness. But for so many of these men, they've become obsessed with the one thing that they don't have access to, and that is long-term relationships. Something that occurred to me after I filmed the first part of this video was that incels are actually an unreached people group. People can be poor physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And I can say that incels are poor spiritually and probably emotionally as well, even if they have financial resources. So how do we act towards people that are in that low state, that are poor, that have nothing that they can give us back? Like I said, it's not just a problem with one part of society. This is a problem for all of us. So the way that we treat incels, as gross as some of their practices might be, or as not cool as they might be, that's how we're actually treating Christ. And he calls us to a higher standard. He calls us to love the unlovable, care about the people that have been forgotten about, discarded, or just that we would rather admit aren't even there. So that's my encouragement to you today. The first thing I'd like to point out is that the problem is with desire. It says in the Bible that the spirit wages war with the flesh, so that we can't pursue our desires or our lusts, the things of this world. Now, I'm not saying relationships and marriage are a bad thing. Certainly building a family and building a future is a great thing. But when that desire becomes all that we think about, all that we obsess with, that's when it can become a problem. In Stoicism, in Taoism, it teaches us to get rid of our desires. Because oftentimes what happens is when we become obsessed with something, we actually end up with less of that thing because of the obsession. The truth is that we run from what chases us. So a lot of times for young men, they're trying to chase relationships. They're trying to look for girls. And that actually turns people off because it comes across as needy or obsessive. So I'd like to bring up 3 potential things that I would advise someone who was in this position that they shouldn't be doing, and then 3 things that they should be doing to better their situation. Now, these aren't things that we're going to be able to get rid of overnight, but I think they're things that seriously need to be fought against. The first is pornography. For an incel, it'd be so easy to fall into pornography as a way to dampen the pain, as a way to lessen the pain of being alone. So get an accountability partner. Get a nanny net, get something to keep that back, to fight against it. Now, obviously, you're not going to be able to completely get rid of it overnight, but guardrails and accountability are the first 2 places to start. The second thing that I would advise is to limit activities that isolate you. So it could be spending too much time in front of a screen, video games, movies, Netflix, those types of things. But isolating yourself is a self-destructive pattern that will actually feed more and more into the problem. So the third thing I'd like to suggest is cut out all self-pity. There's nothing wrong with you if you can't find a girlfriend. There's nothing wrong with you if you're involuntarily celibate. There's plenty of things that you either are good at or could pursue and become good at. I'd also like to give you 3 potential things that you can be doing right now to better your situation. The first is get involved with the real world. This is the flip side of not isolating yourself. There's the common meme that's going around, get a life, touch grass. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the forest, but get out into the world, explore. Join a group, join a church. Think through, what are your interests and what out in the real world could you be doing to pursue those interests? The second thing I would say is better yourself physically. Oof, this is something that applies to all of us, even me. Whatever position we find ourselves in, there's always a way to better ourselves physically. There's free resources available online. Just go to YouTube, look up free workouts. walk, bike, run, whatever it is, get in better physical shape. And the last thing I would say is better yourself mentally. I always advise people to have two hobbies, one that keeps them active and one that keeps them smart, keeps their brain moving. Personally, I'm horrible at games. I'm horrible at chess, but I do love economics. I could listen to economic books. I could read economics books all day long. It's not boring to me. And I'm sure you have something that you're interested in that if you pursue it would keep you healthy mentally as well. The final thing that I would advise, and this is my personal opinion, is that you need a new master. So far in life, the master might have been something that you desire so much, a relationship, a kind of addiction. But my master is Jesus Christ. And I think if you give your heart to him, that will completely change your perspective on everything. Your desires will become his desires. It says in Matthew 6:33, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. It's talking about the things of the world. It's kind of ironic that if we give up ourselves, that he will give us what we really desire. I found him to be a great master, and I think you will too. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, check me out on other social media platforms. If you were in any way encouraged by this video, please leave a comment and let me know that, and share it with anyone you think could benefit from hearing it. Thanks, and have a wonderful day.